out of my end, the blind leading, the blind leading, the blind end, the sign of the giant, out of sight, out of my end, the blind leading, the
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, you didn't know. You better call somebody and let them know that the boys are live right here on the Value Wrestling, right here on YouTube with your SmackDown post-show review. We're going to break it all down right here on this beautiful podcast for you right here on the Value Wrestling. So call somebody, let them know that they need to tune in, tune out, and get ready because it's going to be a hell of a time. I am your host, the big time, the medium-sized man. I am joined by the big man himself, Mr. Z, the co-host of the hour, the man with a wiener hiding under his desk. But hey, that's a different story for a different day. Welcome to the Value Wrestling. Welcome to your SmackDown post-show review. Join in the conversation. Join in the chat. Tell us you're here as we begin to talk about SmackDown for November 22nd, 2024. What a night. The wise man cometh with a major surprise. How you feeling, Mr. Z?
That was, I really thought that it was going to be somebody else. That blew me away. That fifth man blew me away. I'll take it though.
We start off SmackDown reviewing what happened last week. We get to see a lot of the big names coming to the show. We get a recap. We get all that pretty stuff. We see even Roman trying to contact Paul Heyman, but the phone being disconnected. What did it mean? What did it say? And why did Sammy throw a phone on the couch last week? A lot to talk about, lots to get into. But Solo Sikoa's out here with Bronson Reed, the fifth man for their team. It's been solidified. They are ready for War Games, but Roman doesn't have the fourth man. So he is going to give Roman and the OTC a chance to surrender. Solo offering terms of surrender to Roman and the original bloodline. So we will have to see what happens when Roman gets here. Commentary runs down the card. We should have a great night of great action. And, of course, we open with the Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green versus Blair Davenport in the triple threat tournament. The triple threat match for the U.S. Women's Championship Tournament. Bianca Belair in this match, Belair Davenport, and, of course, Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green seemingly being the people's pick and the Value Wrestling's pick to win this whole tournament and become the first United States Women's Championship. If you disagree, well, I don't know what to tell you, but that's where we stand. If you have somebody else you'd like to see, you can tell us in the chat. We'll talk about it. But a decent match here. Towards the end of the match, this was pretty much dominated by Belair, but at one point, the screen popped up and we saw Jade Cargill dropped across the hood of a car with a broken windshield. Belair decided to go check on her friend Jade Cargill and left, leaving Belair and Green in the ring alone. Blair would hit a super kick, but Green then hits the unpretty her and wins with the 1, 2, 3. The match went 9 minutes, 50 seconds. A good, solid match. I'm not going to say this was a blockbuster match. It was a very good match. Belair had a lot of domination, but luckily they left. They didn't let Belair take the loss. They gave her a way out of this match. And Blair Davenport taking a loss here doesn't do a whole lot, but this moves Chelsea Green in the right direction where a lot of people want to see her go. Mr. Z, your thoughts on this opening match?
It went exactly as what I thought it was going to do. I did not see the interference by a video screen of Jade being draped across the car as the way out. I was thinking maybe there would be some kind of hokey business where, Bianca comes up short at breaking up the pinfall, but that's a way out. She's got business 10-2 tag team wise. So Chelsea taking a win. That's all we needed.
No, it was solid. It was a good match. Belair being dominant through most of the match, then finding a way to get her out of the ring. So she just doesn't take an L or look like she's losing anything. And of course, Chelsea Green getting the win here. I think that's the right move in the right direction in all of this. So we'll have to see what's going to be next. She's moving in. We know Bailey's over there. We got 2 more matches to go before we get into the next round. It's going to be interesting to see. We go to break. After we come back from break, we see Bel Air leaving with Jade Cargill in an ambulance. Bailey and Naomi standing there watching on in distraught as Women's War Games is getting closer. We have 1 week to go from this Saturday for Survivor Series for War Games, November 30th. LA Knight is out to the ring with a big pop. Escobar follows, but before the match starts, we get on the video screen Shinsuke Nakamura, and he claims he's been watching LA Knight and claims he's riddled with insecurities. He begs the crowd for attention, and Knight lives in fear of losing what he's obtained, and those fears are justified. This is the beginning of the end. That allows Escobar to attack Knight before the bell. Some great stuff here from Nakamura, a great vignette. Can't wait to see what we're going to see from Nakamura and LA Knight as this storyline progresses. Lots of great stuff here. Happy to see Nakamura back in a character that I think is going to bring that version of Nakamura that we're all dying to see. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's New Japan Nakamura. That's New Japan Nakamura. That's the Nakamura we know and love. And before he left to WWE, before he did his stint in NXT, he was pure heel leading up to about his last couple of years. So this is what we want. This is what New Japan fans would know of and would love to see more of.
Anyways, we had Santos Escobar taking on LA Knight for the U.S. title. The title's on the line. Escobar out here with Berto, Angel, and Elektra Lopez. Escobar attacks before the bell rings as Knight is distracted by the video from Shinsuke Nakamura. We go to break during the match. We come back and see Escobar working over Knight. Knight then finds out of it. They trade some strikes. Knight landing a slingshot shoulder block. We go back and forth. Eventually, Knight on the top rope, and they fight up there. But Knight headbutts Escobar down and follows with a mega star elbow attempt, but out comes Nakamura. He appears on the entranceway to distract Knight. Knight gets crossed across the top rope. Escobar hits an avalanche hurricane rana. Escobar runs up top again, hits a frog splash, and tries to phantom driver, but Knight counters it and turns it into blunt force trauma. Picks the win up 8 minutes, 13 seconds. A good match here. 8 minutes, 13 seconds. Not a long match, but a good solid match here. But this match was more about the story between Knight and Nakamura, because right afterwards, Nakamura is immediately in and attacked Knight a few times before landing a Kinshasa to the back of the head. In the corner, Nakamura heads out like a boss, leaving everybody wondering what is to come. LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura. This is going to be a great feud, and if they continue to build Nakamura the way he is, it should be a good match.
Yeah, no complaints here. Great match by Escobar. Escobar, the fall guy here. Anytime we see Escobar in there, you're always amazed about what he can do and how he can work. He can work with anybody. Just that reversal though, that was a clean reversal. I was definitely taken back. I was like, I didn't think you can reverse the BFT into that. It's all good, but like you said, the story is about Nakamura moving forward. As long as they keep pushing heel Nakamura, then I'm all for the ending to this.
No, it's going to be something great. It's going to be something interesting to wait and see. I can't wait to see how they're going to play out Nakamura. If they continue to build Nakamura's character like he's being presented, it feels like New Japan, the Nakamura we all want. And then him and LA Knight tying it up. It's going to be some good stuff. Give me some severe competition to LA Knight, which kind of is what I think is hurting Knight, is that he doesn't really have any big challengers right now that they have in line for him. Nakamura does feel like a viable threat to LA Knight's title reign.
Yeah,
we got to recap.
That's like you said. I mean, I was really quick. We talk about LA Knight plateauing. I felt like he's been stagnant, so this might push him further to the top of that mountain with a good competitor.
Yes, it could mean a lot of things. It could help move LA Knight, to the next level, and making Nakamura feel more serious is definitely something I want to see. We get a recap of the situation with the DIY Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits from last week. Johnny Gargano was in the back pleading his case to the Guns about having a tag team match for the titles. Johnny thinks he can fix it with a tag team title match, but the Guns think the Profits deserve a title. The Profits wander over and talk about Ciampa is bad news. A lot of innuendos here, a lot of possibilities here. I don't know where we're going. You've got the babyface Guns, you got babyface Johnny Gargano, you have a turning Tommaso Ciampa, and you even have a slightly turning Profits even in this little vignette. I don't know. Do we wind up at Survivor Series with the Guns teaming with Johnny Gargano against Tommaso Ciampa and the Street Profits? Weird twist and weird stories, but this is getting really interesting on how this road is going. This is definitely an interesting story that we're starting to tell here.
Yeah, I mean, they even brought it up during the match itself. I think we'll get to that point, but it was brought up the differences that Gargano and Ciampa had in the past, and to see that come to fruition in front of a live crowd, where we can get a response out of everybody, where it can feel a better rivalry to a climactic grudge match. That's booking 101.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens between Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits, and this big evolving story. A lot of pieces here, a lot of things at work. It is interesting to see where we're going to go with it all. I don't know. We have Tommaso and Johnny Gargano. I think a lot of people have been waiting for that story to come back around, for these two friends, enemies, to finally have that light, that shiny moment that they missed out on when they had the NXT title, and they were feuding over the NXT title briefly before Vince redacted, brought them both up to the main roster and just kind of squashed all that feud. And then Ciampa got hurt and created a whole big mess. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We see the original Bloodline arrive to the venue. All four of them are here tonight. Then we go to a break, and after the break, we see Cody Rhodes. He is headed to the ringside. Nick Aldis is seen talking to Nia Jax if she knows anything about the attack on Jade Cargill. Jax denies involvement. Nick then jobs over to Cody Rhodes, who's headed to the ring. Nick hasn't heard from Owens, though, and isn't sure he's here. Cody is sure Owens won't miss the opportunity and heads out to the ring. So through Gorilla, Cody walks. And Cody, very interesting, and a poignant point that'll be brought up here shortly, was not in his suit, more of his track suits. Cody looking like he was coming here to fight more than talk. So we get Cody through Gorilla. The camera follows him all the way out to the stage. Cody makes his entrance, and he gets on a mic. Says it's time to go face-to-face with Owens, and reminds us that Randy Orton isn't here because Cody knows Owens is here. Isn't here, but Cody knows Owens is here and wants him in the ring. Suddenly we hear Owens' voice, and we see him enter through the crowd. He's a little insulted, though, because he was summoned to be here, and he only came because Cody wanted him here. Owens says Cody summoned him here not to be, or Cody says he summoned Owens to be here, but not in the crowd, but in the ring. Owens is not happy because he came out in his best dress, and Cody is not out here in his politician suit. Yes, Cody didn't come dressed to the nines tonight. No, he came out in his best garb. If you don't see it, you got to go see it. He's wearing one of those great tuxedo shirts. And Owens is on the mic. Cody says Owens was summoned not to be in the crowd, but in the ring. Owens says he's not getting. Owens says Cody's not getting what he wants this time. Cody looks ahead to Owens, but is stopped by security. Owens says if Cody wants to fight him, then he has to ask Cody why. Then he has to ask why Cody is upset. This whole thing is Cody's fault, according to Kevin Owens. Owens starts to march towards the ring and now says that it's Cody's fault because Owens spent 4 years battling the bloodline each and every week. They tried to end him. Roman Reigns tried to end his career, but couldn't do it. Owens kept fighting before Cody even came back. Well, and then Owens fought alongside Cody, reminding him that he was there trying to help him win at WrestleMania 39. And at WrestleMania 40, Owens was in the ring celebrating with Cody when he finished his story. Then what happened? Well, Roman needed help because he pissed off everyone else. And who says yes? Well, Cody did. Cody teamed with a man who held down, who had nothing to do with Owens. Cody had nothing. That Owens wants to justify how Cody can do this. I totally lost my thought here. My bad. We know that Cody said yes to Roman. Cody teamed with the man who tried to end Owens' career. So yeah, it's all Cody's fault. Cody then says enough. If Owen wants to justify his actions however he does, then fine. But Cody teaming with Roman had nothing to do with Owens. This is about Kevin Owens doing what he does all the time, playing the victim. It's always the victim for Kevin Owens, says Cody. He has to be held down. His head, well, no one holds Owens down more than Owens. He's a self-sabotage to the next level. He's fixated on being the top guy, not realizing that it's a team effort to begin with. Owens has been the man here for a decade, a Grand Slam champion, loved by fans, and everyone knows it except Owens, Cody says. The last time they were in the ring in Berlin, Owens couldn't pull the trigger on Cody, and if he had, he could be standing here as WWE champion. He blames Cody for that weakness, but now Owens finally pulled the trigger just on the wrong guy. Randy is a legend and was a friend to Kevin, and he did not deserve what Kevin did to him. Cody offers to fight Owens right here because there's plenty of show left, or on Saturday night's main event, or in Canada at Survivor Series. Owens should know this is coming, and the ball is in Owens' court. Owens says Cody can have his match, but when Owens says it's going to happen, and it's definitely not happening tonight, but when does it happen, Owens will just do his job, and this time he'll be quite happy to pull the trigger. Just think, though, he crossed the line with Randy, and he loves Randy, said Kevin, but he hates Cody. Yes, Kevin Owens showing Cody he hated him. This gets Owens. That gets Owens. They agree. Cody warns Owens that he shouldn't hesitate to cross that line either because Cody is willing to cross that line and do whatever it takes. And then tells Kevin as he's walking away that he doesn't think Owens hates him. Cody says, "You don't hate me," to Kevin, that Kevin hates himself. And so, yeah, setting up for a great match here between Cody, Kevin, a great promo back and forth between the two stars here, really setting fire and bringing in a lot of reality into the storyline, a solid storyline that we're getting here, building up. They talked about Kevin Owens not only did betray his friend, his buddy in Randy Orton, but he used a move that had been banned in this company for decades. A severe move that has put people on the shelf, that has injured people, that's put people out of the business, has paralyzed people, has cost people days, years of their lives. So a lot of that factored into it. A great story. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. What an awesome back and forth promo. Both hitting great points. Really the pop of the show at this point. Solid stuff here. I don't know what you thought, but tell us what you think, Mr. Z.
You want to talk about making something mean something, and to bring up the fact that they're using an illegal move, something as simple as a pile driver, as a great storytelling device. You couldn't get more better than that. It's making the small things mean the most, and both of these guys going back and forth with what had happened, what's leading to what's next. Like I said, highlight of the night. I enjoyed every minute of it. You couldn't get a better confrontation promo than that.
Well, I think it was a high point of the night to that point, but the highlight of the night definitely came at the end of the show. What really made this show worth watching? You had to watch it all the way through to get to this great moment. But this segment here was great. It was good, classic Cody. Cody getting away from the suit wearing Cody. What do you want to talk about Cody for a little bit? We were getting this Cody that's ready to fight, that's ready for action, ain't going to take it. We're getting an angry Cody. We're getting a different version of Cody that I'm enjoying, and we're seeing the heel, dastardly Kevin Owens, and he's touching a lot on the old Kevin Steen. I feel like we're getting a lot of more of a Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens than we've seen in a long, long time. And if you don't know, you
We
need to
haven't seen
know,
that
so go
since
check it out.
NXT. That's that'd be your honesty. Yeah, it was NXT Kevin Owens. That was I'm gonna attack Sammy out of nowhere after Sammy wins the belt. We thought it was
Well,
respectful, and then finally he was like, "No, I'm gonna
and
play into it."
that was when Sammy first won the NXT title after working so hard to get to that position and always being the underdog. He finally overcame it. Kevin Owens recently joined NXT. He came out to celebrate with his so-called best friend, only to drop him across the apron with that vicious apron power bomb. Oh, changed the complexity and the direction of NXT right then and there. Kevin Owens. Gotta love him, gotta hate him, but it's Kevin Owens. Anyways, we see the bloodline in the back. We see the bloodline talking in the back about the fifth man, about War Games. Sammy says he's out of ideas. Jay goes, what about Cody? Jimmy thinks about it, and then Roman shuts it down, calling Cody old news and that they're moving on. Sammy then says we could try Seth again after what Reed did to him, but Roman still doesn't like that. Roman says they don't need anyone. This is all that matters. Family, they're good. They don't need a fifth. If they have to go in there and die, at least they're going to die together. Jimmy and Jay say they're down for this. We get a yeet from Jay. And Sammy says he's in, but asks Roman what is the plan. Roman doesn't know what the plan is, but it looks like right now War Games is set for a crash course and some craziness. How is the bloodline, the original bloodline with the OTC, going to survive in a 4-on-5 with 5 of the most savages of WWE? Because I know there's a couple other savages from the South Pacific that are, not there, that are one side. But when you look at across that ring and you're talking about the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Leo, and then you add in the new tribal chief, Solo Sokoa, and of course you add in our favorite, our boy, somebody we'll support all day and all night, former SPW tag team champion at that, Jacob Fatu, and then you add in the big boy Bronson Reed. Yep. I mean, that's a team I don't think Mr. Z would want to stand across the ring with. There's not many factions that you could stand along and go, okay, yeah, I don't want this. But hey, you know what? We'll get Mr. Z to set up, and we'll let those 5 guys come along and all hit him with the chop, and we'll see if he's still standing afterwards.
Hey, as long as we get it on film and as long as they shout out the podcast, I'm all for it.
But yeah,
the things we do.
Your thoughts on the situation given at this point in time between the Bloodline and Bloodline Timu?
That's the Bloodline Timu. Let's be real here. We got 4 out of the 5 bad dudes. I mean, Jacob Fatu is probably the biggest and meanest of them all. Given the right situation, I'd be afraid to even be in the ring with him in a cage. In a steel cage, if that. Do you really want to be in a steel cage with Jacob Fatu? I don't.
But you do want to get chopped by him. You do want Jacob Fatu to sign that name and solidify his name in the Choppy Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, definitely. But not still in a steel cage with him. No, you couldn't pay me enough.
So we can't get you.
Same thing. I don't want to be in a steel cage with that.
So we can't book a match, the big man versus Jacob Fatu in like a Hell in a Cell.
Are we reading my obituary after this match? Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
But yes, no, I understand.
About you, but I mean, I've seen what he can do, and we've all seen what he does. So
yes,
that's it. And the same thing with the Gorillas of Destiny. They have a track record in a steel cage that's beyond me. Just ask the Tampon Bucks; they know best because they've never beaten them in a steel cage. Solo. It depending on with Solo, what he brings to the table. Obviously, promos is not his best thing. We like seeing him as a savage and this is probably the best showcase you can give them.
Yep.
So I'm all for the 5-on-4, and like you said, if they die, they die, but they go down swinging. And I'm looking to see what's going to happen.
So, would you be willing to take a splash from Bronson Reed off that top rope? You willing to take a tsunami? Will you take two tsunamis? Will you take three tsunamis?
No. You might have to scrape me off the mat after the second one.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we like to have fun here. Enjoy it. Jump in the conversation. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're enjoying the conversation. But after this, we have Bayley and Naomi heading out to the ring. We go to a commercial break. After we come back from break, we see Cody walking the back past Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes has to run his mouth, and Cody and Hayes get into a scuffle until Nick Aldis shows up and breaks it up. Our next match is a tag team match. Bayley and Naomi taking on Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton. A decent match here. Went 7 minutes, 45 seconds, and eventually was ended when Nia Jax got herself involved in this. They had a big brawl. A big brawl breaks out. Out comes Io Sky. She shoves and run wild before Jax runs her over. Io fights back with a head kick, then a springboard drop kick. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan show up, only for Mummy to show up. Yeah, Rhea Ripley is here with a kendo stick to even out the sides. We see what's going to happen. Jade Cargill is going to be replaced by Rhea Ripley on this War Games women's match. It should be something interesting. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae going into War Games against Io Sky, Bayley, Naomi, Bianca Belair, and now Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley in a steel cage with Liv Morgan. I mean, just if they come out as your starting two, I can only imagine the damage that would be done in just that 5-minute time period.
You never know. Anything is possible.
You're going to have to see too. I feel like poor Candice LeRae is kind of lost in the sauce right now. Like they really don't know what to do with her just yet.
Well, at least she's getting showcased.
And it's almost heartbreaking. Well, that too. It's not like she's sitting and catering like certain individuals normally are, but
no.
But we're gonna talk about that brand right now. But they got her doing something, which is great. She's getting TV time, which is even better. I mean, I want to see what they're gonna do with her after War Games, but I think we won't know anything they'll do with her until after the Rumble.
Exactly. Anyways, after the break, we get Montez Ford versus Tommaso Ciampa. Post-break, here comes Montez Ford. Tommaso Ciampa follows both men, still using their tag team theme. Montez Ford and Tommaso Ciampa out here for a good, solid match. Eventually, Ford blocks a fairy tale ending to get a Rana and a pin for a 3 count. Tommaso Ciampa loses after the match. The match should go 7 minutes, 49 seconds. After the match, Ciampa attacks after the bell, and Dawkins shows up to fight him off. Johnny Gargano comes down to try and settle things, but this allows Ciampa to attack Dawkins. Johnny pulls Ciampa out of the fight and tries to calm things down. Ciampa shoves Johnny down, and here comes the Motor City Machine Guns. Ciampa scurries off. Sabin and Shelley flank Johnny, and Ciampa loudly asks Johnny why he is walking back up the ramp. Whose team are you on? Whose side are you on? Good match here for Ciampa and Montez Ford, continuing this interesting storyline. Mr. Z.
Well, yeah, and planting seeds. I feel like this is progressing a little bit more than Xavier and Kofi. At least that one's long and drawn out because I think we're getting it to where you'll never see it coming. And this one, it'll probably happen right in front of everybody.
I wonder if this will have something to do with the Royal Rumble. that Ciampa and Johnny Gargano will finally be pushed over that edge. We're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. We got some time, but it's going to be very interesting. Next week.
Long wait to Rumble, but I'll wait.
It's not that far away. It's going to be here before you know it, as much as Hostile Holiday is going to be here. Stockton Con's going to be here, and One Supreme Night, the 25th anniversary show for SPW, is all going to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a wild, wild 2025.
Yes, it is.
Next week, we get a rundown of what's going to go on next week. We got the other women's triple threat match, but Jade Cargill won't be in it. We'll have to find a new participant. And, of course, we're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Carmelo Hayes. Anyways, the night starts. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know how I don't know how I feel about Melo and Rhodes. But I do love how they're pushing Carmelo as just this arrogant, I'm better than you.
He is him.
I'll take it. It is what
he is him. You have to remember that. But it'll be a good match. Cody and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes showing time and time again that he can get in the ring with the big boys and dance, and that is the most important thing. It'll be a good, solid match. We'll have to see how it all plays out. Anyways, we go to break. Solo Sikoa and crew are headed to the ring. Solo Sikoa and crew get to the ring when the OTC's music hits, and out comes Roman, along with Jimmy and Jay Uso and Sami Zayn Uso, all coming out together. Everyone is staring down and looking like they're ready to fight. Solo says they're not here to fight, and in fact, he loves Roman. He loves all of them, and that will never change. But they have to understand, if they join him, they can run WWE for decades. They still don't have a fifth man or a Wiseman, and at this point, they have no choice. Solo tells them they have to surrender and join Solo's team, or the four of them will die where they stand. Solo dangles the mic out for Roman to take. Roman does not look too happy. Roman grabs the mic and starts to talk before we hear the most infamous words in recent professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, and the pop and the roof go off this place. Ladies and gentlemen, it was amazing to hear those words. We've been waiting to hear the voice of Paul Heyman. And ladies and gentlemen, the night went off with a bang. I mean, this was a massive reaction to the return of the wise man himself. Heyman introduces himself, reminds us that he got put through a table and that he is the wise man. And he says his math is not mathing, even though he went through a table, and you can't have war games with 4-on-5, that this doesn't compute. But it won't be 4-on-5, says the wise man. No, it will not. It will be 5-on-5, because Heyman, the wise man, has a fifth man. Now, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, a lot of predictions, a lot of guesses going into this week, into this Thursday, or into this Friday, into tonight's show. Will Paul Heyman show up? Will the wise man arrive? Will the wise man have a fifth member? And when it's Paul Heyman, Paul Heyman has a short list of people he could call. And with a lot of rumors and speculation, a lot of people were saying Brock Lesnar was going to make his return to help Roman, which would be interesting considering their history and their past. But another name that was being brought up, the man who made his return at last year's Survivor Series, Mr. CM Punk. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yep.
Paul Heyman points to the curtain. People are waiting, the anticipation growing, the tease is there. It is insane. The crowd is on edge. When that music hits, Cult of Personality plays, blaring through the arena, and the roof blew out. You thought Paul Heyman blew the roof off the place. CM Punk making his return once again into this match. Punk comes out in street clothes, wrapping his fist, ready for a fight. He gets right in the ring, and all chaos falls out. All 10 men start battling out. The good guys clean house, and Roman and Punk hit in stereo a spear and a go to sleep on Tama Tonga Tonga Lego. Roman and Punk stare each other down, and Roman questions why Punk isn't involved in this. And Punk pretty much tells him because of Paul. I think at one point Roman may have said, "I don't trust you," and Punk says, "You don't have to." If you could read the lips, this is going to be an insane War Games now that you've added a whole different element into this. I saw a lot of chatter and heard a lot of chatter. I thought, we're going to get Brock Lesnar or CM Punk. CM Punk made better sense than Brock Lesnar because we just haven't seen Brock Lesnar in this. And CM Punk, yes, he has history with Roman. Very interesting history with his return when the Bloodline first chased off Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman went to Punk and said, "Please take me with you." A lot of interesting things there, a lot of parallels that make it very, very interesting. So I'm not surprised. Brock Lesnar would have been a harder one for me to hear just because how many times him and Roman have battled it out, stood across the rings, and did things to each other. It would have been a harder pill to swallow, I think, maybe for me to see Brock Lesnar come out and join this team and Roman to be as willing to accept it than a CM Punk.
Yeah.
This just adds a different element to the whole story. And, of course, the craziness is, if you remember back when Punk first talked about, his return to WWE, some of the things he said is, I don't want to do Hell in a Cell. I don't want to do some of this stuff. Well, he's been in a Hell in a Cell since his return, and now he's going into a dual ring cage match that we call War Games.
Oh,
Carmelo Hayes takes to Twitter here,
man.
too, as we're
That
talking
just-
about that, and says he ran into CM Punk backstage, and Punk gave him the best advice, and that was to never lose a backstage fight again.
Nice.
Also, just announced after CM Punk making his return tonight on SmackDown. Yes, this is his first appearance on SmackDown since he's returned to or not his first appearance, but this is a return to SmackDown since he returned to the company. He's been drafted to Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, it was announced to commemorate CM Punk's 434-day reign as WWE Champion. A limited edition Signature Series Championship title has been created. The CM Punk Signature Series Championship title spinner belt with the CM Punk logo in the middle is now available on WWEshop.com.
Oh, wow. I know I seen that belt and I was like, well, I missed the show. I was like, oh, cool. But to piggyback on what's going on with War Games, it makes sense. He did return last year around this time, right after War Games was done. Why not bring him into the fold and let him step into War Games? One of three people that respects Paul Heyman the most, CM Punk would be the best bet. So it just made everything interesting. Now we really don't know what's going to happen because where's the loyalty going to lie at the end of all this?
No, it's going to be crazy to see. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out next Saturday at Survivor Series at War Games. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a great time. You just don't know what's going to come. And if you haven't watched SmackDown, I feel sorry for you because it was a pretty good, exciting show at the end. Or you could have been over there watching AEW Rampage where you could have seen the way in between the Casco guy, the Big Boom, and QT Marshall because they're going to fight on 0 Hour tomorrow night before AEW Full Gear. And just announced a major match for 0 Hour. Dante Martin, the Beast Mortos, Commander, and Buddy Matthews will do it in a four-way dance, a four-way match before Full Gear on AEW 0 Hour tomorrow night. So, yeah, some great matches coming up for you. I know Mr. C is so excited to watch this because we'll be right here to cover all of Full Gear after it's all said and done. He's already crying tears. Imagine the tears that he's going to be crying afterwards. If you don't come to hear a great review show, come to see the tears of a man. You can drink the tears that will be falling from his face after 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, however long this show goes.
I don't think I have enough whiskey to get me through that one. I don't know.
Whiskey in a jarro. Ladies and gentlemen. SmackDown. a decent show. I won't say it was a stellar show. It wasn't great from all aspects, but it was a good, solid show. And, if you want to really have some fun, you can check out Rampage and you can check out Harley Graham. Yes, if you want to check out Harley Graham, go check that out. On Rampage, it happened.
Oh my goodness. I know.
And
that's
you
why
too
it's
can
been
be your
exciting.
own hologram. I think I will buy Mr. Z the hologram mask so when he decides to step in the squared circle, he can at least hide his face and embarrassment.
No, I will not. No, that is one I'm definitely not having. There is a picture of the Try Not to Laugh AEW edition. It's Tony Khan, the Costco guy, and the little wee man with him. Yeah, it said not to laugh, but I think it's hilarious.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow night with your AEW Full Gear post-show review. We've covered SmackDown. We had a lot of fun talking about it. CM Punk, introduced by the Wiseman as the fifth man for this team. It's going to be interesting to see how all that stuff comes together, how that all plays out. And Mr. Z can't be any more excited for tomorrow night when AEW brings you Full Gear. He is more giddy than a schoolboy on the first day of school. He's more giddy than a 6-year-old on Christmas morning. He's more giddy than a fat man on Thanksgiving Day.
Hey.
Just
Not
like
as
on
giddy as I
Thanksgiving.
was, this past Sunday.
Just like on Thanksgiving, Mr. Z will be the first one in line for Full Gear.
Oh no. Oh no. That's bad. That's horrible. We could hope for a decent show at least, right? Like we could sit here and
It'll be a decent show. It'll be AEW. It's an AEW pay-per-view. It'll at least be decent.
Yeah, no, I give him that. It's just so long. It's such a long show. I was ready for bed after Dynamite when we went. Like it was so long.
Oh. Oh. Oh, I can't even believe you had to bring that up. You had to go back there.
Yeah, well,
Well, of course, Mr. Z will be hoping that there'll be a meat chant at AEW Full Gear, like there was at SPW this past Sunday, when Still Hungry went down and the crowd started chanting, meat, 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 meat. And Mr. Z turned more red than the red on a Switchblade sign. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could have seen this man turn. I mean, he was such a shade of red that it was almost purple at one point. It was that great. I mean, he lost it.
I tried so hard not to laugh. It got louder. Because when I heard it first, I was like, okay, that's cool. They got a little louder, and I was like, okay. They got really loud. I looked over at you, and I'm like, I can't. You're gonna mention something.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I even mentioned something, he was already like this. And then I'm like, oh, it's like that. And then it just came. I mean, if you can watch that part, I know Still Hungry did not record to the standards that we met. We tried the live stream. We tried to bring you something live. We expected better, but I can look at it and tell you, yeah, it didn't go the way we wanted, but the next one will be amazing because we're going to record it and then we'll put it up. So.
Yep. Right here on Value Wrestling.
Anyways. Hey, Mr. Z, do you know why there's no Pirates in Kansas?
Why?
Because they all moved to Arkansas.
Oh, that's horrible. That's a bad dad joke. Well, I know what to take when Tony comes back over. I got a joke for him.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, your SmackDown post-show review.
Good dad joke.
and we'll be here tomorrow with your Full Gear post show. That'll be a lot of fun. Then Sunday we'll be back with your weekly roundup podcast to break it all down. Mondays there might be something recorded. I don't know if there'll be a show up, but there won't be a Raw post show. That'll be on Tuesday night because me and the big man are going to be busy men. We're gonna whip Mr. Z
Yep.
into shape.
Oh yeah.
So be ready for a lot of fun, a lot of entertaining to come. Ladies and gentlemen, you never know what's going to happen. Of course, starting next month, right after this week, we're going to get through Thanksgiving, and then starting next month, December 8th, we start off with Lucha Santa at Barrios Toys in Roseville, California. That's going to be a big event. December 15th, SPW's Hostile Holiday event is going to take place. The announcement has been officially made. The poster is out. We are just waiting for the opportunity to see what matches are going to go down at Hostile Holiday. We do believe that Chima and Dante Daring will have a rematch at Hostile Holiday. What type of match will they have? It might be interesting to see. I've heard that FPW used to have bring your own weapon matches where the audience got to bring weapons. I believe the last one might have been last year at this very event.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it's time for another one of those classic matches to make its return. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be on action. We can't wait for the card to come out. We're paying close attention, and when we find out, we will let you all know what is going down. And of course, if you haven't caught up with us,
we'll make sure we get it out.
And of course, if you haven't caught up with us from last night when we did the IWCP, the Independent Wrestling Community Podcast, then you may not know that we are not doing a show tomorrow. Ugly Dojo, unfortunately, due to circumstances outside of their control, had to cancel their show tomorrow that we had been invited to come and join up in Vacaville. If you need more, you can go to Ugly Dojo's YouTube channel. They address there where Big Ugly himself breaks it all down. Of course, Big Ugly, a former SPW champion, a heavyweight champion. There's a lot of story there. Had a classic match once upon a time with El Chupacabra for the SPW title under SPW title rules. You never know. You never, ever know. Maybe one day we'll get the Big Ugly.
Him and Sir Samurai had wars too. Let's not forget that.
There you go. And
Very
who
young
knows?
Sir Samurai.
Who knows? Maybe the Value Wrestling can get the Big Ugly himself, JD Bishop, right here on the Value Wrestling Podcast for an interview, for a chat, to tell us all the history, especially since we're heading in to Supreme Pro Wrestling and our 25th anniversary show in April for one Supreme Night. Why not talk to one of the men who carried that title multiple times? He is a multiple-time SPW heavyweight champion. Deep history there. Something definitely to talk about. And you can always talk about what's going on with Ugly Dojo, another company we hope to work with in the very near future.
Yep. That'll be great stuff.
It could be some amazing stuff. You just never know what is out there. A lot of names that we hope to cross with or get to see, get to talk to as we head into SPW's 25th anniversary show, one Supreme Night. It should be a Supreme Night for sure.
Well, you got to think, if you got all these guys that are hungry for the main event, you got to be here next month on the 15th to see who else is looking for that main event spot.
You never, ever really know. It's always going to be an opportunity. We don't know who's going to say, I want that spot. But hey, it's a lot of fun because watching everybody saying they want that spot just makes you want to say, I want that spot too.
Exactly. I wouldn't mind a spot on that. There we go. One Supreme Night. That's a one of the biggest events of the year, next to what we've been through already. Standing room only. That's how we like it. We like to see a nice packed house. That's for sure.
And if anything, if you guys are following our boy AJ Hirsch on Facebook, it looks like he's getting rid of some quality stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if any of this gear was gear he's worn, or a close friend to his has worn. That might be interesting. But our good friend AJ Kirsch has got some interesting stuff up on Facebook Marketplace. If you're following him, he's got some stuff that he's trying to downsize on Facebook. So maybe you need to go check that out.
Oh yeah.
You never,
Oh, wow.
ever.
There you go.
Yeah. Always want to help out everybody who supports us every way we can.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I'm
And of
pretty
course-
sure a lot of the gear that he is getting rid of is ring worn. So I mean, yeah.
I don't want to technically jump on it.
If you're collecting, if you're a person,
I don't want to technically jump on any ships that it's possible until we know. Maybe we need to get confirmation on that.
we'll find
So,
out and let everyone know. How about that?
so ladies and gentlemen, and the only other thing is I say go over to Instagram, follow Wrestling Collectibles, West Ghost Designs, because Lucha Santa ugly sweatshirts, ugly t-shirt, ugly Christmas sweatshirts, and ugly Christmas t-shirts, and even an ugly Christmas jacket, all available with Lucha Santa. All of those styles. It's not an ugly jacket. It's actually pretty nice, but they are under that ugly Christmas genre look. Because if you go purchase those now, you can get them, and all that. All the proceeds are going to help get toys for children in need. On December 8th, when you can come out and get your picture with Lucha Santa and hang out, it should be a fun time. That's going to be December 8th in Roseville, Mario's Toys. What more? I mean, busy times ahead, ladies and gentlemen. 2024 is going out with a bang, and we're going to blow the doors open on 2025.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time. Good to see Lucha Santa. I mean, we're on his good list, but we just need to make sure we need to confirm that a little further that we're on the good list. Because you know, I don't know. I might have been on the naughty list at some point. I just need to find out from Lucha Santa where am I at.
Well, I think after Lucha Santa gives you a little choppy, you might be on the good list. He may chop the bad list out of you. He might chop the naughty out of you. No, never mind. We're not going to go there. We're just going to keep that. Yeah. Because all he wants for Christmas is to be choppy. There you go.
There we go, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this later, that is awesome. If you're here live, great. Thank you for joining us. No matter when you're watching, just make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you're not a part of the Value of Wrestling family, part of the Value Wrestling Army. If you're not a part of what we're doing here, then you need to become a part, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be some amazing stuff. 2025 is going to be a year that's going to change the landscape of the Value of Wrestling. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be some fun stuff, and we will see you tomorrow night after AEW Full Gear. So we will see you then.
See ya, folks.